All right, today we're diving into a comfort food that I absolutely love. It's this humble little rice noodle, but it has a surprisingly wild story and a name that honestly might make you do a double take. So let's get right into it. Okay, just think about your go-to comfort food for a second. Got it? Now, what if it was called mouse noodle? Yeah, seriously. That's exactly what we're talking about with this short, plump, and, I promise, delicious noodle. It's a little mystery we're going to unpack right now. So first things first, let's solve this name mystery. I mean, how on earth does one single food end up with a name that's super logical on one hand and, well, another one that sounds like a problem for an exterminator? What's so cool is how incredibly literal the original name is. In the Hakka dialect, Mi Tai Mu isn't trying to be poetic or anything. It's basically a how-to guide right in the name. Mi, that's rice, Tai, that's the sieve, and Mu, those are the holes. So it literally just means the rice that's pushed through the holes in the sieve. Super simple, totally descriptive, makes perfect sense, right? But, of course, language and culture are, well, they're funny things. As this noodle started to travel, people who didn't speak Hakka didn't know its name. So they just called it what they saw. And what they saw was something else entirely. So picture this. The noodle makes its way to places like Guangdong and Hong Kong. Cantonese speakers take one look at its short, kind of chubby body and those tapered ends and go, hey, that looks exactly like a mouse tail. And just like that, with that classic Cantonese humor, it gets a brand new name. Lo Shu Fun, which translates to, you guessed it, mouse noodle. And yeah, it's a little startling at first, but I'm telling you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay, so beyond the wacky name, this noodle has a history that's all about pure function. This wasn't something invented for a fancy restaurant menu. Nope. This was food born out of necessity, really for survival. The story of Mi Tai Mu really starts with the Hakka people, a group famous for their migrations all across southern China. And you have to remember, in an agricultural society, the work is just backbreaking. Think about planting and harvesting rice all day. It's incredibly demanding. You need a quick, reliable energy source to keep going, and that's exactly what this noodle was designed to be. You could almost think of it as the original energy bar. Seriously. It's made from rice, so it's super easy to digest, gives you a quick hit of fuel, and it actually keeps you feeling full. But here's the absolute genius of it all, its versatility. On a cold winter day, you'd eat it in a steamy hot broth to warm you up. But in the middle of a blazing hot summer, you'd have it served cold with sugar water and ice. It was the perfect fuel for hard work, no matter the season. But making perfect Mai Tai Mu, it's not as simple as just grinding up some rice and calling it a day. Oh no, there's a real art to it. And the whole thing starts with a secret that's actually kind of counterintuitive. I mean, we're always told fresh is best, right? Well, not in this case. The absolute #1 key to getting that signature, chewy, bouncy, perfect texture is using old rice. We're talking indica rice that's been sitting around aging for at least a year. So why old rice? What's the deal with that? It really just comes down to moisture and starch. See, new rice is packed with moisture, and if you tried to make noodles with it, you'd just get a sticky, gloopy paste. But old rice, it's had time to dry out. That means its starch is way more stable, and that is what lets you create that amazing, springy, chewy texture, the one food lovers call Q texture. And the process to make them, wow, it's a total labor of love. You soak the old rice, you grind it, you press it, but the real magic, the key step, is #3 here, gelatinization. Get this, you take a small chunk of the dough, you actually boil it until it's cooked, and then you knead that cooked piece back into the rest of the raw dough. This is the soul of the recipe right here. It's what gives the noodle that incredible elasticity before it ever gets squeezed through the sieve and cooked for real. Okay. Now we get to the really fun part. Because this noodle has such a simple, clean rice flavor, it gets to live this amazing double life. It is a total superstar in both the savory and the sweet world. And you can really see its two different personalities right here. In one corner, you've got a warm, comforting, savory breakfast staple swimming in this rich, delicious broth. And in the other corner, it's a cool, refreshing dessert served over shaved ice with a sweet syrup. It's the exact same noodle, but two totally, completely different experiences. So when it's savory, the absolute heart and soul of the dish is the broth. Usually this deep, super flavorful pork bone soup. The noodles just soak up all that goodness.
But for me, the real game changer, the star topping, is the crispy fried shallots. They add this unbelievable aroma and crunch. Throw in some chives, maybe a braised egg. Oh man, it is just pure, heartwarming comfort in a bowl.
And then, for dessert, it completely transforms. It's served over a mountain of shaved ice, drizzled with this dark, almost smoky black sugar syrup. And the craziest thing happens, the noodle's texture changes. The cold literally shocks it and makes it even firmer, even more satisfyingly chewy. It's the perfect contrast to that sweet syrup and other toppings like green beans or sweet jellies. So, when you take a step back and look at all this, you realize Mi Tai Mu is so much more than just a noodle. It's really a story in a bowl. It truly represents a journey. I mean, think about it. It started as practical fuel for farmers in southern China. Then it traveled with the Hakka people as they migrated to Taiwan, to Malaysia, to Hong Kong, and all over. And every single time it landed in a new home, it adapted. It became a beloved part of the local food scene. It's literally edible history. And hey, just so you can spot these in the wild, here's a quick noodle ID guide for you. Unlike udon, which is thick and made from wheat, Mai Tai Mu is all rice. And if you see another rice noodle called Lai Fun, you'll know the difference because Mai Tai Mu is shorter, a bit plumper, and it has that unmistakable Q texture that you only get from using old rice. It really does have its own unique personality. So at the end of the day, this simple, unassuming noodle tells a pretty powerful story. It's a story of resilience, right? Of a people who needed portable, nourishing food to survive. It's a story of pure ingenuity, of figuring out the secret to turning old, leftover rice into something absolutely delicious. And most of all, it tastes like the simple, profound comfort of home, whether you're eating it in a hot, savory broth or a cold, sweet bowl. And that really just leaves us with one last thing to think about. Every single comfort food out there has a history, a reason it was created, a journey it's been on. So maybe the next time you're digging into your own favorite dish, just pause and ask yourself, what's the story this food is telling me?